First of all, happy Friday to everybody, and good afternoon to Singapore, and then good morning to the Nordics. My name is Sami Askelainen from Nordic Innovation House, and I'll be your host today. So it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome you all our Water, Waste and Food virtual market entry program partner session with the Zero Waste City and SMU Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Quickly recap about the house rules before we start. For the audience, please note that all the participants are automatically muted. For our speakers, please keep yourself muted when you are not presenting or asking questions. We do have time then allocated for the Q&A at the end, but when you are hearing these great presentations, if some questions comes to your mind, feel free to post those to the Q&A and we will pick the questions from there. Please also remember to indicate to whom your question is for. We are recording this session, and the recording and all the presentation decks will be shared with all the participants in 24 hours after this session. We have a very, very exciting agenda today, so let's have a look at that. First, we have Remi Cesaro from Zero Waste City providing or introducing their setup and company. After that, we're going to hand over the stage to Susan Tan, who is an assistant director at SMU. And then after this, we will hand over the stage to the Nordic companies. We have 9 companies with us today, and they're all presenting 7 minutes each. And after that, we also then have time for the Q&A, so you can use the Q&A function to post questions for our presenters. We do have some new friends with us today, so very quickly, a couple of words about Nordic Innovation House. We are essentially a community platform which supports and helps and accelerates high-quality Nordic tech startups and scale-ups and growth companies that are coming to Singapore, and of course, many of them are using Singapore as a springboard then for the Southeast Asia market. We are supported by Nordic Innovation and very unique collaboration between the Nordic countries. And our journey started actually from Silicon Valley. That was our first office, followed by New York, then Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. So currently we have five offices globally providing support for Nordic companies. Our daily work is, I would say, quite industry agnostic, but then we have a very clear focus on specific verticals, and that's also then the reason why we are all here today. And in these focus areas, we are running, for example, these virtual market entry programs, which provides a good platform then to Nordic companies to understand better the landscape and markets here in Singapore and Southeast Asia, and also then start having those conversations with the local stakeholders. If you want to know more about us, how do we operate and how to connect, you can check our website. The link is here, or then you can reach me or my colleague Jackie out, and then we can continue a conversation. Then how to continue conversation with the companies that are presenting today. We do have this a platform called Meeting Scheduler and using that you can then conveniently book a meeting, one-to-one meeting with the Nordic companies by leaving your contact details there, and then we will connect you with the requested company. We are also posting the link here on the chat, so you can find it conveniently there. Good. And now I would like then invite Remi Cesaro from Zero Waste consultant on stage and give their presentation. Remi, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sami. Good afternoon, everyone in Singapore. Good morning, everyone in Nordic countries. So for the next 15 minutes, I've been tasked to give you as much information as possible for you to have an overview of how waste and water are being managed in Singapore, what kind of policies you need to be aware of, and targets that the government is currently setting, as well as some infrastructure projects which are currently going on. So quite a bit of a topic. I will try to be as clear as possible throughout the presentation, If eventually I was going to run out of time, I probably will skip through some of the slides. But again, the slides will be available to the participants afterward. So let's dive into it. Oh, let's start maybe with the introduction. So as Sami has mentioned, I worked as a consultant for Zero Waste City. Here we go. As well as label for recycling. We provide services to large commercial and industrial facilities on better managing the physical resources, reducing waste, saving money, and eventually achieve zero waste goals. In terms of services, we cover items such as waste audit, all the way to product implementation and zero waste certification. That also include packaging assessment in Singapore and beyond. All right, so that's quickly for the introduction. So let's dive into the subject. So in this presentation, we are going to have an overview of the water and waste management system in Singapore, identify some of the main challenges and ambition of Singapore in the current decade, and talk about some of the current policies and infrastructure projects. First, waste management, then water management, and then synergies between water, waste, and food. All right, so first thing first, who is responsible for what? In Singapore, in the regulatory landscape, you have 4 organizations that you need to be aware of. The very first one being the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment, formerly MUR, for Ministry of Environment, Water, Resources. Under this ministry, you have 3 statutory boards: the National Environmental Agency, NEA, the Public Utility Board, PUB, and the Singapore Food Agency, SFA. Depending on the type of project and infrastructure you want to build in Singapore, you will have to address different organizations. Of course, they do talk to each other, and you will see that you have synergies between the 3 organizations. So let's talk about waste first. So here I'm going to give you like the big picture of the flow of waste in Singapore. So in the waste industry, there's typically 3 sectors we tend to distinguish: the construction and demolition, the domestic sector, and like residential, and the non-domestic sector, industrial, commercial, institutional. In terms of waste, C&D is about 20% of the waste generated. Half of it will be the non-domestic sector, and the quarter will be the domestic sector. And that's basically how it looks like. So officially in Singapore, 100% of the waste from construction and demolition are recycled. On the non-domestic sector, so commercial, industrial, you have about 63% recycling rate overall. And on the domestic sector, in 2019, the recycling rate was down to 17%. Usually it's more around 20%. So whatever is not recycled will be sent to incineration in Singapore. And the ashes from incineration will eventually end up in Semakau landfill. Overall, in 2019, it was 7.2 million tons of trash, and the overall recycling rate was 59%. I will mention it again after, but for you to be aware, the government has a very strong commitment to achieve 70% overall recycling rate by 2030. So within 9 years, the government intends to implement a series of programs, both in terms of policies, practices, and infrastructures, to better improve the recycling rate to 70%. So let's talk quickly about general waste. General waste, you have 2 sectors. Again, the residential, which is managed by the government, and you have the non-domestic sector, commercial, industrial, where you have the freedom to select whichever collector you want to work with. In the case of the domestic sector, you have 3 contractors officially contracted by NEA to manage waste, who are Sembcorp, Alba, and 800 Super. Whatever is collected by those collectors will eventually end up in the incinerator. There are 4 incinerators in Singapore: Senoko, Tuas, Keplers, and Tuas South. There is 2 more incinerating plants being in construction right now, mostly to replace the old one currently operating. You need to know that all the incineration plants in Singapore are mass burners with waste to energy capabilities, and they actually account for 2 to 3% of the total electricity mix of Singapore. So what happened to the ashes of the incinerators? So once ashes are generated in the incinerators, they are collected, sent to the Tuas Marine Transfer Station, put in a barge, transported to Semakau landfill. In Semakau landfill, the barge will be emptied and the trucks will empty the content into the different cells that you can see here. And this is the timeline of Semakau landfill when it opened in 2000 and in September last year. Semakau landfill is filling up, and it is an actual very serious concern for the government for many reasons. And the number one reason being that they don't have a plan B for ashes of incinerator. And right now, the lead time is 14 years before the whole landfill is full. And in 14 years, they have to do a lot of things to minimize the generation of waste and better themselves in terms of the use of ashes. Quickly about recycling. In the recycling, you have again two sectors: a regulated sector from the government, which look after the domestic residential market, and you have the commercial industrial market, which has the freedom to select whichever contractor you want to work with. All those companies will collect your trash, send them to different material recovery facilities where waste will be sorted. Just FYI, in Singapore, you have still a very strong informal sector for the collection of waste from the domestic sector. Again, well, that's something quite usual. I don't think there's anything new here for everybody. So when we talk about waste management, you have three major steps: the collection of the waste, the sorting, and then the recycling. Recycling, you have everything that goes into fibers, then you have non-ferrous aluminum, non-ferrous metals, ferrous metal, glass, and plastics, in which you have different type of facilities, technologies, and so on for the recycling. Question is, what is effectively recycled in Singapore? Pretty much nothing. When we talk about domestic sector, you do have a few recyclers of plastic in Singapore, but they mostly deal with high quality, low contamination plastic waste. So typically from the commercial and industrial sector. Everything else will be exported to neighboring countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, India for actual recycling. All right, so now let's go back to our big picture and let's dive a bit more into what is currently burnt in Singapore. And this is a pie chart of the waste incinerated in Singapore. A third is about plastic, a quarter food waste, then you have 20% of cardboard and paper, textile, and everything else. In terms of goals, as I mentioned earlier, Singapore intends to achieve 70% overall recycling rate by 2030. There's a few secondary targets, which are recycling rate of the domestic sector up to 30% from the 17% 2 years ago, 81% recycling rate for the C&Ds and non-domestic sector, which is overall 72% right now. And finally, they want to achieve a 30% reduction in waste going to Semakau landfill. So basically, we're talking about reusing of ashes from the landfill, or from the incinerator side. So that's the goal, and now that's the current policy that Singapore is currently implementing. So the first one is EPR on e-waste, and that is very much to minimize the contamination by heavy metals of ashes to incineration, as well as recovering high-value materials from the recycling scheme. You have the mandatory food waste segregation, to basically minimize, to cut by half the amount of food waste going to incineration. You have the mandatory waste reporting, which force large waste producers to quantify the waste they generate. You have the mandatory packaging reporting, which is a prequel to the EPR on packaging in Singapore. And finally, you have the expected deposit return scheme on beverage containers. So that's all in terms of policies. Now you have the question of Facilities. In terms of facilities, you have one particular project. You have one major project called TUAS Nexus, which is divided into two major infrastructures, one being the integrated waste management facility, and one is a TUAS water reclamation plant. The very first one basically include an incinerator, a recyclable sorting facility, a food waste digester on an industrial scale, and also a dewatering plant. So we can talk about it a bit after, but I will just move on because I'm going to run out of time. Infrastructure project, you have new sand. So new sand is about reusing the ashes of incinerator. So right now, just for you to have a big picture, for 100 tons of trash that you burn, you end up with 80% of water vapor and CO2, 18% of incinerator bottom ashes, and 2% of fly ashes. And the goal of new sand is to build the infrastructure required to safely and properly collect all the IBA as construction materials. This is already done in many European countries, but in Singapore is yet to implement such a practice as a normal procedure. Quickly, you have new oil, which is another project that Singapore intends to implement, which is the collection and recycling of plastic waste to be transformed into petroleum product. Well, I'm not going to dive into what pyrolysis is. You can read it at a later stage. I just move on quickly. Just for you to know, there's a lot of synergy with the petrochemistry industry in Singapore, which is very strong, hence this project. And Singapore is currently intending to build in Singapore a plastic recycling plant. But the details of what technology will be used for what outcome is unknown at this stage. All right, now let's dive into water. Where does the water in Singapore come from? You have what we call 4 national taps in Singapore. Originally speaking, Singapore will consume water directly from the rainwater catchment. As Singapore grew, Singapore needed import from Malaysia. And so you have an agreement between Malaysia and Singapore to bring some of the Johor River back to Singapore. As Singapore continued to grow and to minimize dependence from Malaysia, Singapore has invested quite early into industrial scale technologies for the recycling of wastewater, called NEWater. In addition, Singapore has also built a few desalination plants, with 2 more in construction or finalized recently. So that's a big picture of waste management in Singapore, water management in Singapore. And that is mostly managed by PUB. So as I mentioned earlier, the Johor River is over here, and Singapore has an agreement to capture some of this water and pipe it all the way down to Singapore. I told you about the desalination plant, with 2 more supposed to be completed last year. A few things to know: desalination plants are by default not favored by Singapore for the simple reason that it's the energy required and the cost required per cubic meter of water is higher with desalination than recycling of wastewater. But yet, because it is expected that the water consumption in Singapore will continue to increase, they are building additional capabilities for meeting the demand. Quickly, and that's linked back to what I told you about the TUAS Nexus project. So Singapore is building this water reclamation plant in the TUAS Nexus, which is down here in TUAS. And obviously, if you want to do that, you need to bring all the wastewater all the way down here. So right now, there's a very gigantic project to do a deep tunnel sewerage system to capture and collect all the wastewater from this part of Singapore and to pipe it all the way down to TUAS. I mean, if you can go on the website, there's a lot of information available on PUB, and it's a very amazing project in terms of infrastructure and civil engineering. All right, I will quickly close my presentation here. by this diagram from a PUB, which was published 2 years ago in a tender project, where PUB was investigating synergies between the waste infrastructure, the water infrastructure, and the agri-food infrastructure. And quickly to close on this one, we need to be aware that Singapore intends to increase production of food in Singapore and to achieve what they call the 30 by 30, which is 30% of nutritional need in Singapore should be produced locally. Hence, the idea of combining together food waste management and wastewater for the production of organic product in Singapore. So I will quickly finish here, and I will pass on the microphone back to Sami. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Remy, for your very comprehensive presentation. Thank you so much. Then we're going to switch the gears a little bit, and we will hear now more from Susan Tan, who is an assistant director at the SMU Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Susan, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. First, thank you very much, Samir and the Nordic Innovation House team for inviting me for this session itself. So I'll do a quick introduction on SMU and why we are here. Primarily because SMU itself is a university, as you all know, and we are actually part of the Institute of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So the university is actually a city university, and we are very global in terms of our focus. We're established since January 2000, and we're already in our 21st year. And within our schools itself, we have the School of Accountancy, Business, Economics, Computing Science and all that, and I won't go too much into that. And we are primarily known for our interactive and technologically enabled pedagogy of seminar-style teaching in small class sizes. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, that's what we are. We don't just like to daydream. We try to put things in action. So that's why we are definitely what we call the change makers. So we do like to catalyze a campus movement itself in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship. That's really where our core competency is and our core objective. Our vision is definitely to be the preferred knowledge partner and convening platform for I&E itself in Asia. So when we talk about building the future of I&E talents, we have different programs in place. So we have like Protégé Venture, which I'll talk about it a little bit more later. Global innovation immersion, as well as some of our student clubs. And we have other programs, which are like our incubator programs, which is BIG, in short, Business Innovations Generator. And we have some of our iconic events, which we work very closely with the Nordic Innovation House as well in terms of promotion, like the Lee Kuan Yew Global Business Plan Competition, which we just ran the 10th edition this year. So these are just some of our enterprise board members, which, I'll just briefly show here. So as you can see, we actually have board members, not just from the education and academic arena. We do have board members coming through from different industry as well. So the Global Innovation Immersion Program is, in short, we call it GII. In Singapore, we are particularly favorable of acronyms. So you hear a lot about acronyms. So what this program does is that for the university students with SMU itself, which is Singapore Management University, we do work on a 3-month overseas summer internship program for them with global companies. So for example, if you are a Nordic startup and you're looking for interns, that's something that we can work with you on. Typically, it's a 3-month summer internship, usually from May onwards to August. And of course, during this period of COVID itself, unfortunately, the students are not able to travel. So we are now down to doing it as a remote program for this year, at least for last year and this year, I would say. Okay, so these are some of the student clubs that we work with. So as you can basically, we are very much into tech innovation as well as entrepreneurship. So the student clubs that we work with are primarily in the areas of blockchain, fintech, AI, and all, and entrepreneurship itself. Protege Venture is actually the first student-led venture fund in Southeast Asia itself. And the main idea is that it is actually a national program. So this is actually school agnostic. So we work with all the universities itself to recruit students to be part of this Protege Venture. And the students actually get hands-on training and all, and they have actual money to invest in startups. And primarily they look at startups in university itself. So as mentioned earlier, we are also I would say we also have an incubation program. So in short, it's called Business Innovations Generator, BIG in short. It's actually a 4-month intensive program that is very, I would say, coach heavy. And we focus a lot on founders, and it's actually an equity-free program itself. So for this program, we are open to not just Singapore startups, we're also open to overseas startups, and primarily to, I would say, early stage startups. And within the program itself, what we do is we actually have mentors, experts and all, and we conduct a lot of master classes to give, like I said, coaching and all that to our, young startups. So to date, we have actually incubated over 280 startups itself. So this is just some of the results whereby we actually have over, our alumni itself have built startups with more than $3 billion in enterprise value over the last decade. Okay. So this is also another program that we run. It's called Lean Launchpad, and primarily this is more so focused in terms of the university for the commercialization of projects that has been done by researchers that is housed within the university itself for the faculty. So as mentioned, commercialization projects so far, we have actually had 2 spin-offs from our university itself. So we have one company that's called Indoor Lock that is based on technology to help people navigate, and another which is called SBox, which is actually a end-to-end data privacy protection and sharing of software system. Okay. Okay, what you see here is actually our co-working space that we use as an incubation lab for our startups. So if you're coming to Singapore and you need a facility to, work off from here, it's something that, definitely we will welcome you, and we can definitely work with you in terms of that. And we also work with a lot of different partners. If they are looking at doing events, we always welcome them as long as it's within the space of I&E itself, which is innovation and entrepreneurship. Oh, this is another shot of the building from outside itself. So obviously at this point in time, when we do physical event, there will be safe distancing and all that required. So hopefully soon we will be able to get, our friends from Nordic to come over to Singapore for some actual physical events. Yeah. So over here at SMU itself and the greenhouse, which is what we call the space itself, we like to look at it as the heart of, what we will call the Asia's Sand Hill Road itself of Southeast Asia. So we're talking about within a kilometer space itself, we're talking about a lot of VC funds coming here, a lot of co-working spaces, as well as the key government bodies, including the finance office, including the finance ministry, the trade ministry and all. I would say that they are primarily within 1 kilometer of space from where we are. So we are definitely at downtown. So activating a global campus movement is also one of the things that we really look at doing. And the Lee Kuan Yew Global Business Plan Competition is a marquee event that we run once every 2 years. So the last time we ran this was this year in March. Actually, the event was supposed to be last year, but we had to postpone it 1 year. And this year is actually our 10th edition, and we had over 800 participants from worldwide student entrepreneurs as well as young startups. And our prizes is actually worth up to $2 million in terms of not just cash, as well as prizes in kind and investment prizes. So this is one of the biggest university startup challenge. And we attracted over 70 out of the top 100 universities. and they were all represented here for the event itself. But this year, unfortunately, we weren't able to fly in the participants. Pre-COVID days, we actually do fly in the 50 teams to be here for a week long of activities and exchange and networking. Okay. So when we ran this year, the event this year, we had over 138 international judges for the preliminary rounds, over 30 category final judges, 8 grand final judges, and we also have a mentorship program. So one of the key interesting thing is that when we run the program, we actually have mentors assigned to the teams, and we look at them in terms of their relevancy in terms of the industry itself. And the main thing is not so much as to just help the team win the competition, but rather to provide them a mentor, a guidance, and an intergeneration conversation itself for somebody who has a lot of experience and who's able to open doors for them. So we actually had people from who are like CEOs of all the big listed companies like Keppel, Temasek, and even past ministers as well. VC Office Hour is a new program that we launched this year. We actually managed to get over 38 senior venture capitalists who did this for us pro bono. So the idea is that pre-COVID days, when we started with the plan for this program itself, we wanted to gather, not just the startups here, the smartest brain and the ideas here. We also wanted to bring the venture capitalists here so that, the whole ecosystem is pretty much here itself. And so although with COVID itself, we could not bring the teams in from overseas, but we still managed to do this as a physical event. So we had 38 senior venture capitalists. A lot of them are actually, I would say, big names in the region itself. And they spent, a good half a day with us just to give pro bono service and one-to-one consultation itself. And these VCs actually have with them under assets of over 16 billion US dollars under their management itself. And we managed to actually have over 120 consultations for startups. We did both physical as well as virtual. The virtual ones, we actually have the laptops there for some of the VCs to do. And we also have VCs from overseas who did virtual calls as well. So definitely it's something that we will continue to do because we feel that, it's got very good feedback from the participants, as well as the fact that we kind of close the loop in terms of the whole ecosystem itself, because you have the, funders of the future here, you have the startups here, it's something that we definitely want to grow further. Yeah, so with that, I think pretty much that's it on what we do at SMU IIE itself. So just feel free to reach out to us to see how we can work with you, be it startup or corporates, we are definitely very open to a lot of partnership. Yeah, over to you, Samuel.
Great, thank you so much, Susan. And there has been also some our Nordic members participating to the League on New Business competition. I believe one company was in top 50 and some joined for the VC hours. So that's good. And some companies from our previous programs have been building further collaboration also with the SMU.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Susan. Now we're going to hand over the stage then to our Nordic program participants. So we have 9 companies here with us today. We have grouped them in 3 different groups, where group number 1 is all about different industrial wastewater solutions. Group 2 is all about organic waste. And then group 3, we have interesting solutions coming from the river cleaning sector. And I'm going to hand over then to the first company from the group number 1, and that's Devaco, and we have Toni Franti presenting their solution. So Toni, over to you.
Thank you, Sami. I'll share my screen. My name is Toni Franti from Devaco Limited. Thanks for this opportunity to present our company and offering. I'll begin with a short introduction. Clean water is the base for life, but still 80% of all wastewater is completely untreated. A great number of wastewater treatment facilities need to be built, maintained, and updated as a partial solution for this challenge. Good and reliable equipment have a very important role in this, and this is where we can help. Under our DEVA brand, we design, manufacture, and sell equipment for sludge thickening, dewatering, and sludge removal. Effective sludge collection and dewatering is important in a fight to stop climate change and destruction of nature. It enables methods to reach sustainability goals and leads to circular economy by offering alternative source for energy and other uses for the dewatered sludge cake. At least the collected matter is not directly released to the nature. We have 35 years of experience in sludge treatment. We specialize in manufacturing high-quality equipment that work as designed and promised, and we also offer supervisioning, installation, and after-sales services. Our equipment are made in Finland, and we operate under ISO 9001 standards. Our operations are based in Finland, but in many locations, we are able to support our customers through our partner, a reseller network. For sludge and scum collection and removal, we offer chain and flight type chain scraper systems. These are the most sophisticated systems for sludge and scum removal. Our scrapers offer great benefits, optimal and minimum land and space use, high removal efficiency, low capital and maintenance cost, and easy installation. Our superior design and non-metallic DEVA components offer top-class features, performance, and durability. These systems can be used in multiple applications, such as water and wastewater treatment, oily water, desalination, DUF tanks, sand traps, and grease removal. We offer all possible configurations for rectangular basins, from top and bottom scraping to multi-layer systems, and supply all the needed accessories for these systems, including scum pipes, beach plates, and system controls. In sludge thickening and dewatering, our solutions are based around belt filter presses and gravity belt thickeners. Belt filter presses offer great advantages such as low energy consumption, suitability for various applications, and relatively high sludge dryness. Total lifetime costs are extremely competitive, investment, running, and maintenance costs are low, and the presses have a very long lifespan. Reparations are rather easy, cheap, and do not require long standing times. Our portfolio covers solutions from small-scale to high-capacity municipal and industrial projects, or alternatively from cost-effective solutions to industry-leading features. We supply all the needed accessories for full dewatering cell, including flocculators, polymer units, control systems, and conveyors. We are continuously developing our products. One of our ongoing development projects is to bring cloud-based and AI-assisted monitoring to our systems. This offers various benefits, such as decreased power consumption, extended system lifetime, and overall process optimization. Our equipment are trusted and used by municipal and industrial customers worldwide, from small private companies to leading international contractors. Here you can see a few of our partners and customers. Our track record includes over 3,500 chain scraper systems and over 1,000 belt filter presses and gravity belt thickener deliveries to over 80 countries. Next, I will show you a few example cases. Langat Centralized Sewage Treatment Plant in Malaysia is a mega project treating wastewaters coming from nearly a million people. For this project, we delivered 96 chain scraper systems and 48 scum pipes. Kamana Sewage Treatment Plant is Maynilad mega project in Philippines that will treat wastewaters from about 1.2 million households. Our full product portfolio will be used in this project for sludge and scum removal and dewatering. I have our biggest and fastest growing market, China, as an example of a specific market area. I've selected Wenzhou Wastewater Treatment Plant as an example case. For this challenging project, we delivered 24 two-layer chain scraper systems that help to solve the challenges with space limitations in a partly underground plant construction. In order to showcase the business opportunities that our equipment offer, I want to mention Ottawa Engineering. Ottawa is one of our 6 resellers in China. This huge company is one of the leading Chinese electrical and mechanical engineering groups. They began as our customer in a contractor role as they needed equipment for their own projects. Based on the successful and profitable projects, they have developed DEVA chain scraper systems and related services to be one of their actual business lines, stretching outside the typical contractor role. We know that it takes much more than just good equipment to make the customer happy and reach a successful delivery project. Good products, overall quality, know-how, flexibility, accuracy, honesty, and right attitude are all needed to establish trustworthy partnership. Choose DEVA for smoother projects, better processes, overall cost savings, and cleaner future. We want to find new business opportunities, and we believe that many companies operating in this field can benefit from our offering. We can operate directly with end customers, but typically cooperation is done with contractors. Most importantly, we are looking for resellers to be our local partner. For this, we have great needs in Southeast Asia and in Singapore. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for your time, and please contact us if you find any of this interesting or want to know more. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tony. And next we have ScanWater and Tao Huang presenting their solution. Tao, over to you.
Thank you, Sami. Yes, good morning and good afternoon. My name is Tao. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director at the Scandinavian Water Technology. So who we are? We are a Norwegian company called ScanWater, an engineering company dealing with the water and wastewater business. We are a private-owned company and based in Norway since 1985. We are part of Masseminian Group. Masseminian is owned 100% by the management. Established in 1922. We have around 170 employees in Norway, and we have about 100 of the engineers in-house. So Masseminian owns company in different locations, such as Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, France, Kenya, and China, in totally 15 different locations. So what ScanWater specializes in providing? We providing solutions in water solution as a turnkey solution project provider, humanitarian aid as the emergency water supply, mobile water treatment system, and the municipal preparedness. We supply compact distribution system for emergencies. So today's problem of increasing urban population imposes higher environmental challenges to modern city. At the same time, the city must be optimized well-being and minimize the environmental impact. In many of the urban areas, the sewer systems are overloaded and do not allow for more development. Additionally, through the current handling of organic household and toilet waste, on the one hand, valuable resources are lost. On the other hand, stress the existing treatment infrastructure. But also, if not treated properly, contribute to the environmental pollution. So ScanWater has been conducting experiment on the development of innovative water management solution we call the Green Energy. Green Energy has developed under the CU Green Project, one of the Horizon 2020 project, which co-funded from EU and China with a total funding of 9 million euro. A smart green solution for integrated water and sanitation, stormwater management, energy supply, and nutrient management in the city, based on the principle of resource recovery and the safe reuse aims to increase resilience of the city, make urban development more climate, environmental, and human-friendly with nearly zero emission, circular economic, no climate, and water footprint. We try to elaborate a little bit in the green building infrastructure. Green energy will reduce water consumption by using water-saving fixtures as a vacuum toilet, and reuse the greywater source, facilitating recycling of the nutrient to urban and peri-urban agriculture. Almost eliminate pollutions of surface water. Integrate with a biogas reactor will allow biogas production from the toilet waste and the organic household waste, delivering heat, power, but also nutrient retained to support the greenhouse food production. So the innovative element of the green energy is well balanced combination of technology and the social innovations. So in conclude, we reduce the water consumption, the minimization of the greenhouse gas emission, the promotion of reusing CO2 and waste-based nutrients in local greenhouse, the production of biogas from the domestic organic waste, the production of the fertilizer from domestic organic waste, the promotion of ecological sanitation. So this is some achievement, but not at least from the project as example, product of the resource recovery from the black water. Another benefit example, by using the vacuum-based technology, the vacuum sewer will much more energy efficient, as well as the safety, since the vacuum system is closed loop system, and it will be not have any of a leakage. So far, we have several pilot projects in different locations, 3 in China, 2 in Beijing, and 1 in Changsha, south of China, as well as 1 in Norway. The project, as shown in the picture, we have converted the old hospital facilities to about 1,000 apartments. So far, we also have 2 commercialized projects on the pipeline. So we are looking forward to see the result from the commercial project also. What we are looking for from this program is a local partner who can develop the local market together with us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tao, for your presentation. Next company is called Sofi Filtration, and we have Sandra presenting their solutions. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sami. Good evening, Singapore, and good afternoon, Nordics. My name is Chandra, and I'm a technical marketing specialist at Sofi Filtration. Sofi Filtration is a Finnish company founded in 2011, and Sofi has developed an innovative industrial water filtration system. So before I begin my presentation, I just would like to give a quick background about this whole challenge that we are solving, basically. So as we know, the water scarcity is a global challenge, and with the increasing demand and water supply gap, it is critical to treat wastewater for reuse purposes, not just efficiently, but also in a very sustainable and economical manner. Treating industrial wastewater could be challenging, particularly treating small particles from the water. Conventional technologies has their own limitations, and the current options that are available in the market are based on mechanical self-cleaning filters, which do not go low enough micron ranges. And there where our expertise in. So we provide economical and sustainable water treatment solutions for heavy industries. So as you can see, there's a picture here on the left is from the zinc refinery, and using our Sofi filter, you are able to actually reuse the water for your further industrial processes. So how we stand out or from the existing technology, basically that we have 3 unique key features in our technology. We use the novel cross-flow design, which means that using the high velocity cross flow, we can get the high capacity water running inside the filter. Secondly, we don't use any disposable cartridge filter. We use sustainable steel metal wire mesh, which eliminates the need of disposable cartridge filters. And thirdly, we use high power ultrasonic feature, which supports the backflush to keep the filter element clean, and the automatic process basically also avoid the clogging and the fouling. Furthermore, we have also integrated the IoT capabilities, so you can have the remote monitoring and control of the system. So overall, our technology is very much based on circular economy principle, meaning no waste generated from the cartridge filters, or no chemicals used during the the treatment process. So yeah. So this is basically how we operate. Our system is quite simple and very transparent. First, we go with the lab testing. We test the water sample and give the report to our clients based on that. And then we proceed with the field pilot, which gives the long-term performance of the filter and also understand the client's need. And then we have the customized product delivery. And then after that, we also provide after-sales services and also digital services like remote monitoring and control if needed. So here is our basic layout, how we generally operate in the, for example, in the remote area, in a mining location, let's say. So we have this Sofi box container here, and then the wastewater is going through the container to the wastewater treatment plant, and then you are able to actually check the performance of your water quality remotely anywhere. Using the auto measure feature, you are also able to change the parameter if needed. And of course, at the end, the clients can also have the reports. So as I said, our solution is not just sustainable, but also economical. So here is, for example, the Nordic tariffs that we have here. You can see the freshwater cost is basically is €1 per cubic meter in Nordics, and the wastewater cost is €2 per cubic meter. Using our Sofi filter, you're actually able to reduce the total life cycle cost, the capex plus opex, and most likely like 90% of the cost is like reduced using the Sofi filter. So yeah, so that's why the system is not just sustainable, but also very economical for the wastewater treatment plant. So here is the case study that we have done in Tampere, southern Finland. So it's a waste to energy plant in Tampere. So in this case, the prior practice was to discard the wastewater to the environment. And since we have the stringent environmental regulations, so the company has to reuse their purify their water. What they have done is basically, in this case, they use the purified water as a makeup water, which not only able to help them to improve the efficiency or the cost, I mean, like, which is great in this sense, like for in terms of like from the end user perspective too. So these are the prime industrial applications that we mainly work with. Power, I just showing the example, and then we have mining, chemicals, marine, oil and gas and steel. We are very much active these days with the steel industry. We have the pilot running now in Italy with a steel plant where we are treating rainwater basically. So, and the results are quite good from the pilot tests. Here's our team. Here's our CEO, Ville Hakala. He's the co-founder. He has been with the company since the very start of this, and then he's having the experience in mining and water filtration. And then we have a very renowned name, Steve Gluck. He is based in United States, and he's in the water industry research for like 40 plus years. So we have quite a strong team, and we are a growth company, so our team is quite small, but we have expertise, or collectively we have over 50 plus years of experience. So here's our clients and partners. So basically we operate in Nordics, and we do have international clients here, for example, like Anglo-Americans, and then we are backed by venture capitalists such as Emerald, Loudspring, and Voima Ventures for our internationalization and business growth. So our upcoming target for Singapore and South Asia is basically that we would love to explore the market opportunities, and then go deeper into like the product niche. So we know like where we can be most valuable to the clients, and then we also look for the project collaboration. For example, in a bigger projects, university industry collaboration would be a nice fit, I would say. And then we are also looking for system integrators where we can have the market to channel partners who can be our. So our office is located in Espoo, Finland, and we have a subsidiary in Houston, Texas. And we also have partners in Canada and in Europe. So yes, and we would love to fill this Asia dot here with Singapore. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention. I'm looking forward for one-on-one meetings.
Thank you, Sandra, for your presentation. All right, then it's time to move forward for the next company. And we have then a company called Valmet. It's also coming from Finland, and we have Heli Karaila presenting their solution. So Heli, over to you.
Thank you, Sami. So my name is Heli Karaila, and I'm working as a business manager in Valmet. Together with Valmet Indonesia office, we are participating to this event. So thank you for this opportunity. Valmet is a global technology company. Last year, 2020, our net sales was 3.7 billion euros. There are over 14,000 professionals working globally in Valmet. And wastewater is one of the growth areas, especially for the Valmet automation business line. There is lack of accurate and reliable real-time measurements and optimizer applications, especially for the wastewater sludge process area. Sludge process area is very challenging for the real-time measurement because there is typically that much air, debris, and grease in the process. Based on the customer feedback, about 30% of the wastewater plant operational costs are coming from the sludge processing and sludge further treatment costs. And because of lack of reliable real-time measurement and optimization application, the processes are typically controlled manually based on the laboratory analysis and visual look. So there is really room for reliable measurements and control application. So Valmet has offering for this area. And this is based on over 50 years technology development, what we have done, especially in the pulp and paper business area. So we have really we can offer advanced, long-lasting industrial quality measurement technology to the wastewater sector. And it is very important that we have not only moved those technologies from pulp and paper, but we have further developed those applications that they really fit to the wastewater area. We have over 2,000 real-time measurement references available globally. In order to get full benefits of the advanced real-time measurements, Valmet has developed also sludge dewatering optimizer application called Valmet SDO. This optimizes the solid content in the centrifuge area. So minimize the solid content in the centrate as well as maximize solid content in the dry cake, and in the same time also minimize the polymer usage. With Valmet DNA automation system, it is possible to automate the whole wastewater process. Valmet DNA includes process optimization, information management, environmental reporting, as well as condition monitoring. For Valmet, it is very important to support end customers via services during the whole life cycle in order to get the best performance from the process. Valmet Industrial Internet solutions are also an important part of the offering. Valmet solid measurements are specially used at the wastewater plant sludge process, and we cover all the sludge process solid measurements need. The Valmet Industrial Internet solution combines advanced monitoring of the wastewater plant, data-driven optimization, and remote services from Valmet Performance Center into comprehensive solutions. The purpose is to efficiently utilize data and Valmet expertise to provide tangible benefits for our customers. We have documented reference cases available, and this case, the first case is coming from Finland, Viinikanlahti wastewater plant. And in this case, we optimized the centrifuge process area, and we were able to decrease the centrate solid with 50%, and the dry cake solid was increased 2%. So it really means that the plant is producing less sludge, dewatered sludge that needs to be further treated. In the same time, we were decreasing the polymer usage with 50%. The next case is coming from China. We have nowadays over 200 reference cases available there, and this is the case from Shanghai Taihe wastewater plant. And last year they invested to the primary sludge area and to the sludge dewatering area with Valmet solid measurement application in order to increase the performance of the sludge process area. Also in Hong Kong, in the world's largest sludge incineration plants, there are Valmet solid measurement available already for a long time. Here are some other testimonies from the customers, and it is important that the payback time can be as short as only a couple of months. Singapore is the water hub to the Asia area. So, and via this event, we are really looking forward of new business potential, as well as we like to show the benefits of using Valmet solutions. So we are looking forward new customers, operators, EPCs, distributors, engineering offices, as well as service providers. So thank you for this opportunity, and here is still our contact information. Looking forward of a more detailed discussion with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Heli. So that was the last company from the first group, and now we move forward to group 2, which is all about organic waste. And first company there is Artasfin, and we have Evren presenting their solutions. Evren, over to you.
Thank you. Let me share my screen quickly. Hello, my name is Evren Dönmez. I am the CEO of Artas company. Actually, I have a little technical problem here. I cannot see the screen properly. Sami, can I just postpone a little bit my presentation?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's move forward and then take into applied and Reklima.
Thank you. Sorry for that.
No worries. Erik and Eva, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
There we go. Thank you. My name is Eirik Dahlberg, and I'm the head of global sales at N2 Applied. And with me in this program is Reklima, represented then by the CEO, Ivar Hagemoen. 30 years from now, we will have a global population of 10 billion people, which means we will need to increase food production by a massive 50% compared to current level. And that we need to do in a sustainable way. We need to lower the greenhouse gas emissions and remove pollution. And also then trying to, at the same time, to step away from, or at least not increasing the use of polluting mineral fertilizer. In Singapore, you have a grave problem when it comes to food waste. I'm told that this represents 750,000 tons. May not be correct. However, it is massive. And we can contribute to be part of the solution for both these problems. And to take the N2 part, if we see this biogas plant where you will then use food waste as feedstock, then we can take parts of the electricity generated to run our plasma unit. We are only using electricity, and then we take in air that we are splitting into nitrogen and oxygen, forming nitrogen oxides that we are mixing into the slurry or digestate, and there you have the NEO, nitrogen enriched organic fertilizer. This is showing or some photos from a field trial that we did in Northern Ireland at the Bigham farm. This is a farm having 750 dairy cows, and they have their own biogas plant where they are then using the manure as feedstock. Now, our main drivers, both globally and local, we have the growing population with a need of a sustainable food production, and we are adhering to the Paris Climate Agreement. In Singapore, you have a waste problem that we can be part of solving. Over to you, Ivar.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon. My name is Ivar Hagmon. I am CEO of Reclima, which is an R&D company owned by among two of main waste companies in Norway. Food waste is a challenge also in our country, and our solution is at the moment handling 20% of the volume in Norway. The tomatoes you saw there, they are made only by resources taking out of the production of or the treatment of biogas waste in Norway. And we see that we need some additional compost in our production, but very little. We have no pesticides and we do use no artificial fertilizer. Thank you. Our solution is not a high-tech solution, but it's a high-knowledge solution. So we are working out with the University of Norway. We have for 6 years now established a good process, which are handling about 70,000 tons today in waste. And we take the CO2 into the greenhouse, which is our own developed technology, which keeps the greenhouse sealed or closed more than the other old technologies, so we can take out CO2 from the biogas production. The fuel for the collecting for the upstream trucks are biogas, and the buses are going on the biogas also in our area. We're handling also a new technology for growing, to be able to use the material, growing material from the biogas factory. We had to establish a new technology, and we use also worms to stimulate the soil and the production. And the results have shown that the soil is better condition after 1 year growing than before we started. So actually it's a good converting process. Coming back to the waste solution, we do about 70% of sorting rate in our region at the moment. This technology is based on soap bubbles and double walls, which will reduce the UV contribution of energy, and we also keeps the CO2 emission on a very high level here. To be able to handle about 150 tons of waste, we need about 10 hectares of the greenhouse as a measurement. Comment on the university, very interesting. We also use students for both of education, but we also use them for research. So we have a good cooperation with the universities in Norway, which also should be interesting to discuss exchange programs for that, if interesting for you, and change some knowledge and so on. We have technology, some of our technology are under development and some are developed. But today we are discussing upscaling on the greenhouse, but also on downscaling to use them for urban growing and top roof growing. But we see that top roof growing is as part of the solution of biogas treatment. What are we looking for in this process? We are in a situation where we are looking for investors to develop and fulfill some of our projects. We are looking for distribution partners regularly in your region. We also want interest to be introduced through influencers to potential customers. And also, of course, partnership cooperation would be very interesting for us to be. So thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Eric and Ivar. Our next company is also coming from Norway. It's called Norsk Biocas, and we have Ole presenting.
Thank you. Share the screen with you. And here we are. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I start my presentation to you asking the question, why pre-treatment of food waste? Food waste handling is complicated. It's complicated because it involves several disciplines, technologies, and attitudes. There are 4 main sources where food waste occurs, all with their distinct differences, both in terms of the waste itself, but also in terms of internal handling, collection, and logistics in use. This complexity, paired with partly opposite interests, create an environment where impurities and contamination of the resource always will occur. The end product from pre-treatment of food waste is an energy-rich slurry we normally refer to as substrate. Through the biological process in the digester, biogas and digest is produced. Beside that, impurities in the substrate may cause processual problems. It's the generation of the digestate that worries the most. Digestate is first-class natural fertilizer where all nutrients are kept intact. It is obvious that a contaminated digestate neither will nor should be accepted in agriculture. Stricter standards are under elaboration here in Europe, especially focused on problems that arise with micro and nanoplastics. I have been within the recycling industry for more than 2 decades, most of them in the waste to energy sector. During that period, we have seen many different technologies and designs of pretreatment systems in use. As far as I understand, are the 2 observations and concerns that needs to be addressed in this context. First, most, if not all, system designs are different. And second, the content of degradable matter that follows the reject due to insufficient separation in most cases is significant, with a huge impact on one's profit making. It is reasonable to think that there over the years has been a lack of focus on pre-treatment in general, leading to insufficient solutions. However, we observe that the industry now has come to terms with that pre-treatment is a bottleneck that must be focused more seriously. In my mind, there are no doubt that it is possible to purify food waste in many different ways. The problem is that many processing steps is investment intensive and drive OPEX high. Simplicity, solidity, and standardization are our way of thinking, and we believe that our system has proven its justification. Here's the core of the system. The BICEP has proven its efficiency and sturdiness over more than 10 years in operation. The machine works in a batch-driven process based on a patented centrifuge principle. As you can see from the prestanda, it's a multi-source machine with the capacity to process liquid and solid waste. The machine performs in 3 steps: separation or segregation, as you call it, reject cleaning, collection of more digestible, and reject drying, removal of liquids and moisture. Since the separation step do not involve any form of cutting or size reduction, the amount of microplastics are to a minimum. We strongly believe in standardization. The fact that a fixed process design enables a more scientific approach in regard to development and trim of the system. It enables exchange of data and data mining from all plants in operation, in addition to cooperation and training among operatives of the system. The system is fully automated and may be controlled remote. Until now, we have installed 7 pre-treatment systems in Scandinavia, basically 2 municipal-owned waste facilities. All in all, around 250,000 tons is processed yearly. All plants are used as showcases and to a certain extent, training grounds. I presume you already know the basics about our company. company, but let me just add a few things. Norsk Biocas was funded solely on the invention of the BioSep technology and the pre-plant process design as a specialized company within pre-treatment of food waste. And let me add on the BioSep. The focus of removing plastics was a major driver when we developed the machine. Last year, we decided to involve ourselves developing pre-treatment solutions for other complex waste streams as well, to exploit our competence and through access to new technology. Through the cooperation with Polar Metallurgica, we get access to expertise and equipment geared the dry part of the recycling industry. Altogether, this will enable us to develop further and give us directions in the years to come. Except for our home market, Scandinavia, Norsk Biocas aim to play a role in the coming food waste shift within the EU, where more than 47 million tons of food waste needs to find its way to the digesters. We believe our technology and way of thinking fits the task in hand perfect. For the Southeast Asia region, it's a matter of cooperation and long-term thinking. The region are in various stages of development in terms of economy, legislations, environmental awareness, etc. In addition, we know from assignments in Bangladesh and Korea that the waste itself is very different from what comes out of the European Union. This called for a local-based partnerships. We strongly believe the right partner also can play a role in our European and Scandinavian markets, whether we talk about products, services, or competence alone. To be able to operate in any market, in addition to the technical products itself, one need marketing capacity and a sales force that can find and contract business opportunities. A strong engineering capacity is needed, basically within the discipline of process engineering, and with a financial capacity to meet tendering requirements. Thank you very much for your attention.
Great. Thank you, Ole. And it looks like that Evren and Artasfin is ready. All the technical challenges are solved. So Evren, with that, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you. I'm sorry for that.
No worries.
Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Evren Dönmez, CEO of Artasfin, House of State-of-the-Art Solutions in Environmental Technologies. Artasfin R&D expertise is capitalized on 40 years of engineering and manufacturing legacy of Artas sister companies in Finland, Germany, and Turkey. Our office in Finland is located inside Aalto University campus in Espoo. So SUB presentation took my particular attention in that sense. We design, produce, and implement water, waste, air, and bioenergy solutions. We cover all 4 aspects of the environmental technologies: pre-treatment, filtration, softening, desalination, demineralization, ultra-pure water production. In waste, we deliver physical, chemical, biological, either anaerobic, aerobic attached growth systems or MBR technologies, together with sludge digestion and dewatering plants. Equally, we have flue gas treatment and bioenergy solution. This is one of our client testimonials. To that customer, we delivered a customized, tailor-made, fully integrated solution, kind of Lego blocks. It also gives our customers the comfort of having one sole responsible for all their environmental needs. Our technologies solve problems dealing with access to clean water for drinking in rural and urban settings, water treatment for specific industrial use, wastewater reuse and recycling, wastewater and sludge disposal, organic waste management, waste gas treatment, and renewable energy from waste. We have experience in projects catering for 100 to 100,000 people. Our philosophy is providing integrated, modular, customized solutions operating with renewable energy. We drive change towards circular economy. Our products include ARTO reverse osmosis unit, ARUF ultrafiltration system, ARMO mobile ultra-pure water treatment plant, ARPAC activated sludge-based sewage treatment system, RMBR, membrane bioreactor-based biological wastewater treatment system integrated with solar panels, KIMPA, chemical wastewater treatment system, RDES, chemical and biological desulfurization and flue gas treatment system, ARMUD, compact and modular biogas system. As a perfect example to our integrated and holistic approach, this is a 5-star hotel resort where we delivered a fully integrated and standalone solution. We treated the wastewater for recycling, we took the sludge, gardening wastes, and together with the biodegradable kitchen waste, we fed them into our compact biogas plant, where we generated biogas. The generated fertilizer at the outlet is completely safe to be used at recreational areas of the hotel. With our RMBR solution, we provide very high quality treated water that can be reused for many purposes. When integrated with solar panels, the system can work as a standalone solution in remote areas. ARMUD is our compact biogas solution that can be used both as a sludge and organic waste digester. It's a perfect solution for decentralized organic waste management. This is a water desalination and demineralization plant that we delivered to Siemens, where we used our ARTO and ARUF systems. We do have mobile water treatment systems named ARMO. ARMO is ultimately designed as a plug-and-play system. It meets either potable or ultra-pure water needs and can be easily relocated and deployed one location to another. It's a perfect system to meet urgent, unexpected, and instant water demands. We also provided containerized water treatment plants for the International Committee of the Red Cross in order to produce potable water in Yuba, South Sudan. This project has a potable water production capacity of 12,000 cubic meters per day, which meets the demand of 80,000 people living in the region. That's a good example how much we can go beyond expectations with a fully containerized solution. As a stationary and integrated solution, I would like to give you the example of the plant that we delivered to POSCO. We delivered raw water and demineralized water treatment system together with industrial and sewage wastewater treatment, which was designed with MBR technology. As I'm approaching to the end of my presentation, I would like to highlight this municipal wastewater treatment plant. This plant was designed with fixed film attached growth activated sludge technology. The bacteria grows on the submerged plastic media. With this particular design, we treat the same amount of wastewater in 1/3 of the space needed of a normal activated sludge plant. As a one-shop solution provider, we design, manufacture, implement, and operate fully integrated solutions without any third-party intervention. This is what sets us apart from other solutions in the market. Our edge allowed us to cater diverse portfolio of customers. We have designed and delivered solutions to international companies and NGOs globally. We chose Singapore as a hub to scale up our technologies and operations in Asia. Southeast Asia offers promising opportunities. In Singapore, we have already engaged a local representative. We see the future in Asia and would like to partner with prestigious entities both on the public, private, NGO, and venture capital space. We are looking for opportunities to deploy our proven containerized and integrated solutions and partner with leading players for stationary solutions in Southeast Asia. We look forward to working with you. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Evren.
Thank you.
And good. Our next company is coming from Norway. We have Terra Marine presented by Turle.
Yes, thanks a lot, and good afternoon in Singapore. My name is Turle Rubran, as mentioned, and I'm chairman of a Norwegian company called Terra Marine. Our main focus is actually handling organic waste and converting it to fertilizer. There are several technologies for processing organic waste.
Ture, we don't see your presentation.
You don't see it?
No.
Oh.
You only see you.
No. Okay, I have to see what's happening because I have been doing exactly the same as before. Let's try again.
Okay, now it's good.
Now you can see it?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, there are several technologies for processing organic waste, and the goal is normally to stabilize the waste and also to minimize the volume to decrease the cost actually to get rid of it. We look upon organic waste as a resource that could be brought into new production of food. Of course, dependent on that you have some kind of agriculture market in nearby. And obviously in Southeast Asia, we are in a very hot area for delivering fertilizer. Organic waste is rich in nutrients and have a high concentration of organic material, and that is preferred among farmers in Southeast Asia. So incinerating organic waste should, from my understanding, not be a part of our green future. If you have a wastewater treatment plant, and in Asia, it is quite normal to take the waste from that one actually to landfilling, incineration, or even for industrial use. While if you have a possibility to deliver it for agriculture, then actually the most high-hanging fruit, I would say, is to make a fertilizer of it, to use it, and because then it's also possible to transport it to the actual market. So when we are in contact with companies that have a problem with organic waste, we evaluate the waste according to the quality, heavy metals, bacteria, organic pollutants, such things like that, and also evaluate the potential market nearby. And then we discuss the potential further treatment with the waste owner. And then if we end up with a good solution, then we take the full responsibility of bringing this back to the farmland as a fertilizer and then closing the cycle. We have also a good cooperation with several companies, technology providers in Europe actually that are delivering some of the equipment that is needed to bring a wet cake over to a dried material. Because most farmers in Asia, Southeast Asia, are doing it very manually and are small. Approximately in Vietnam, where we are working most, there are 60 million farmers, and they are using only dried pellets in 25 kilo bags. And a cake coming out from a wastewater treatment plant after dewatering is not something that can be used in this market. So it needs to be taken further by drying, and then we have some solutions by sun drying or low energy drying to make it as cheap as possible before it is pelletized. We are producing these pellets or organic fertilizers or mineral organic fertilizers where we are upgrading the product with mixing of different kind of material and also adding minerals and make a wide range of recipes that are suitable for different crops in Asia. And actually we, together with the wastewater treatment in Norway, we established the first fertilizer plant in Europe based on biosolids. Organic liquid fertilizer is also something that can be produced especially from food waste processing factories, also from liquids from food waste processing plants. But it's important then to evaporate it, actually to make higher dry matter content so it is transportable to the market. To be able to sell a product, actually, you need to prove that it is working well. And we had already 7 years ago, we started in Vietnam to have testing in the fields, in the rice fields, in vegetable fields, and everywhere to show that actually these products are working well. And as you see from these photos from 2 of our testing plots there, you see that when we are using the organic fertilizer, it makes something tremendous positive with the soil, where it gets more fruitful, and it is growing better, and also it's less problems with pests, with diseases actually. Our main market from our standpoint today is Vietnam, where we have established 2 companies. We have been there in the market approximately 10 years now. We have experts there within marketing, logistic, finance, and research and development. And we are importing fertilizers from Norway and also from Japan and Denmark, Qatar, and South Korea, and use in the market there. To be able to do that, we need also to transport, of course, mostly in containers to the market. And then the material is processed further in Vietnam, or it is packed in small bags, put to warehouse, and brought out to our customers. And we have some really good sales force there that are active in the market and having lectures and having meetings, as you see on the photo here, with the farmers. And of course, it's a big task, as I told, it's 60 million farmers in that country. So why Singapore? When we are selling fertilizers in Vietnam, actually, it is a high-ranked fertilizer coming from Europe, actually. And we know that that is very important to have something coming from countries that the farmers believe are well educated, they have high standards for quality. And the same is it with Singapore. So products from Singapore would be well welcomed in the market. And we have also tested among biosolids from Singapore and seen that actually it is very low in heavy metals and is suitable for be used as a fertilizer. So we are ready to go in dialogue with companies that are looking for better solutions for their organic waste. So what we can offer is that we are turning organic waste from problems to valuable resources. We reduce the disposal costs if incineration is the situation today. And we offer a zero waste solution and full recycling into new production of food. And that's a really good story. And technology solutions in cooperations with leading European companies is something we offer our customers. Our involvement can be varied from consultancy to performing major tasks in a close partnership. The waste owner can focus on its operation and business and let us take care of to get rid of something that for many companies is a problem. So thanks a lot. This is me and my colleague, my general manager in Vietnam, that is leading the office we have there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Turleif. And then last but definitely not least, we have a company who is providing river cleaning as a free service, coming from Finland, Janne Nuutinen and River Recycle.
Thank you, Sami. Our company, River Recycle, cleans the rivers, recycles plastic, and provides waste management. My name is Janne Nuutinen, and I'm my CEO of River Recycle. A few words about the problem. Well, this slide may be familiar to many of you, but it illustrates the problem and then from which sources the plastic waste ends up in the oceans. About 90% of all the plastic waste that reaches the world's oceans gets flushed through the rivers. Littering, windblown waste, industrial waste, and municipal waste. Once the plastic gets into the sea, it decomposes very, very slowly. And if current pollution levels continue, plastic will outweigh fish in the ocean by 2050. So who we are? Our key team consists of 12 individuals who bring on board significant experience and expertise in their respective fields. The headquarters are based in Helsinki and Singapore. Local operations are managed in India, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Nigeria, and Vietnam by local team members. River Recycle is a startup company established September 2019, and second largest shareholder is Lamor Corporation, also a Finnish company. Lamor is a global leader in marine oil spill recovery. And the references include the Deepwater Horizon cleanup in the Gulf of Mexico. River Recycle's goal is to stop over 60% of ocean plastic accumulation by establishing 500 river cleaning and plastic recycling points on the banks of the world's most polluting rivers. We have developed a global river cleaning as a free service business model and the system which removes plastic waste from heavily polluted rivers. We clean the rivers of plastic by creating a sustainable circular business that uses the plastic as a raw material. This business model aims to create value for waste in rivers to finance the cleanup. Waste value creation is achieved by using plastics to oil technologies and selling it as raw material comparable to the current virgin fossil feedstock. During dry season, additional feedstock can be sourced from local landfills and or establishing a land-based collection system. Today, the project development of river recycle covers 9 countries with the help of a dedicated team of professionals around the world. Currently in India, we are installing a project that will clean up the Miti River in central Mumbai. The team expects to catch up to 50 tons of plastic waste daily and preventing it from flowing into the ocean. We are also building a project in the Citarum River, Indonesia. The Citarum River is one of the most polluted rivers of the planet. The river running through the suburbs and slums of the Jakarta, and it's partially covered by a plastic layer. Former fishermen will be turning into waste collectors. The project is expected to retrieve between 70 to 200 tons of plastic waste from this heavily polluted river on a daily basis. So what we are offering to communities, cities and municipalities, we will take care of the funding, arrange for the manufacture, transport and installation of the river cleanup unit, arrange for the installation of the pyrolysis unit with technology providers, arrange for the necessary trainings to operate and maintain the machinery, and handle the sale of the pyrolysis oil produced. So what we are looking for in Southeast Asia and also for Singapore, rivers and waterways that have high volumes of floating plastic, and that there is a local interest in the river being cleaner, for example, at national level, municipality level, local community level, and the river leads directly to the ocean, and also feedstock and local partner. Alternatively, we can implement the project in 2 ways: river cleanup and pyrolysis, and/or pyrolysis unit only. In Singapore, for example, there are not so many dirty rivers as such, but we can clean the coastline, example, and create value in circular economy and waste management, as well as field of chemical recycling for Singapore needs. We know that Singapore has passionate goal to chemically recycling 1 million tons of plastic waste. Our team has a high level of expertise related to recycling as well as petrochemical, so we are glad to help to achieve the goal. We are very open to cooperation and are willing to develop a pilot project, proof of concept, and we also looking for 3 kinds of funding, like project financing, CSR, donations for river cleaning, and demo project, equity funding to speed up the project development and so. Well, that is all I have for today, and And of course, there is a number of moving parts not mentioned here, but please contact us to hear how it can be done in reality. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jan, for your presentation. So now you have heard 9 excellent and very exciting Nordic solutions. So then we can take the open the floor for the questions from Zero Waste team or SMU team or from other people from the audience. And maybe while we are waiting the questions coming in, also then the Nordic companies, if you have any questions for the SMU team or then Remi from Zero Waste City, feel free to use this opportunity to ask those. Okay, Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question to Remi from Zero Waste. When do you really see that projects will start to be implemented when it comes to rooftop gardening, for instance?
So if we talk about rooftop gardening, there are actually already projects in Singapore that have been implemented over the last few years. There are a few urban farms which are operational in Singapore, but on a very, very small scale. And I do know that the government is very much open to the opportunity of running and expanding the program of rooftop farms in Singapore. Now, of course, as probably you know, the major challenge in those kind of projects are safety of rooftops and people to actually run the garden afterward. But projects are already happening, and it is expected that more will happen in the coming future.
Will there, if I can have one more follow-up, will there be any sort of enforcement? And then I'm more thinking towards the food industry vertical, that as the aim is 30 by 30, will they be obliged to also live up to that? And for instance, Fair Price, which is a cooperative sort of, will they be forced to take in products produced locally?
All right, so on a regulatory point of view, I cannot really answer this question because I personally have not heard about any obligations of purchasing local product and using rooftop gardens for the manufacturing of food. So in that case, I just don't know if there is such a regulation in plan, and as far as I know, I've not heard about it.
Okay, thank you.
And additionally, I could add that there are plans to expand the fish farming industry in Singapore, which already exists, by further recovering the organic waste from the wastewater.
Which we can also handle.
Yeah. And that could be definitely an opportunity here, yes. Oh, and just to finish, I do not so much in that particular field because that's not my area of expertise by default, but I do know there are a few grants available in Singapore to support entrepreneurs or initiatives to implement projects that do align with the Green Plan of Singapore. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Remi. Let's take one question from the audience. This is for Valmet. Do you already have users of smart cloud solutions for solid measurement in wastewater in Singapore or Southeast Asia?
Hello, thank you for this question. This is Heli Karaila. In Southeast Asia, we have measurement, and also in Singapore, we have cases ongoing, but they are still in the early phase. But we have a lot of measurement cases available, and I'm happy to tell more about those. But I suppose that it needs to be separate discussion for that.
Okay, thank you, Heli. And Then let's take, I believe Ule's hand was up first. So Ule.
Yep, a question to Remy. We will meet later, Remy. Looking forward to that. But I think you mentioned that you defined yourself as an engineering organization. Does that mean that you also do or perform ordinary engineering tasks, or do you have contacts within that field? I'm asking because access to process engineering locally will be one of my my objectives in the coming months, I believe.
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. So the answer is we don't provide detailed design of engineering on the engineering side. As far as we are concerned, our engineering capabilities are limited to high-level investigations. So when it comes down to detailed assessment and detailed design of opportunities, we typically rely on external expertise. And to answer your question, yes, I do know one particular company that is specialized in the expertise of detailed engineering for water treatment system that I am happy to recommend to you.
Super, thank you very much.
Good. Then it was Ivar.
Thank you. A question to Remy. In your presentation, you mentioned that you're working with pyrolysis technology. We do the same as a R&D. We have our first plant going now, and we look at that as one of part of the solution. But do you look at pyrolysis as the solution for example for food waste?
Well, by default, I tend to say that I run away from pyrolyzing technologies because in an engineering perspective, I love pyrolysis because it's so elegant and beautiful, but it has a massive flaw of being very fragile to it or dependent on its input. If you put bad input into your pyrolyzing system, you will end up with a bad output. So I did mention pyrolysis in the presentation because Singapore has the intention to build a large-scale pyrolyzing plant for plastic waste. They currently already run a pilot unit with, I think that's National University of Singapore, and they intend to build a larger scale plant in the future. However, there is no precise plan of where and when they will intend to do it. So in terms of pyrolyzing for food, as far as I'm concerned, no one is talking about it in Singapore. The pyrolyzing technology I was talking about was exclusively for plastic waste. In terms of transformation of food waste into gas, it's more for the anaerobic digestion system, which is intended to be built in the next 4 years.
Thank you. Okay. Then there is one fairly big question from the audience. Governments in Southeast Asia seems to focus on economic growth without providing a proper facilities for recycling and sustainable development. How we can change this? Remy, you wanna try?
It is indeed a very big topic, and I must also say that as a foreigner, I'm not exactly allowed to make a comment on the policy of Singapore. But anyway, what I can definitely say is that when Singapore suffers from one strong limitation, which is a space land constraint. And therefore, the government make decision in terms of which industries they tend to favor for the development of the economic growth of Singapore. And the reality is, although recycling industry is of very high value for a community, it has a very low economic value per square meter of land. And therefore, it has been a relatively, it's something that you can observe that recycling industry has not got the same advantage as high technology industries. Regardless, Singapore intends to improve its capabilities of recycling. And in that particular field, Singapore tends to either control or concentrate industries and technology in a specific area. So they have this particular facility dedicated to e-waste recycling, for instance. And they, as I mentioned earlier, they have the intention to build a large-scale plastic recycling facility in Singapore in the coming decade. How things can be improved? That's a very big topic, and in that particular field, it's a lot of lobbying, both towards the government and towards the statutory board, which is NEA. In which case you can effectively suggest and push for changes. NEA is very much open to pilots project. If you have a pilot project which can be implemented in Singapore, they are usually open to a trial and see if it could be scaled up in the future. And that's definitely a way to massively improve a business case for new technology or new practice in Singapore. Yeah.
Good. I think that's a question what we could have at least a couple of webinars to cover multiple angles and all the countries, because I believe that the answer also depends very much on the country. But thank you, Remi, for giving some insights for that. And if we don't have any other questions from the audience, or then from our Nordic companies, or from Remi, or from Susan and her team, I guess that with that big question, we can wrap up this session and leave that, and think about how we're going to answer that on next week when we will continue then our program. But we have come to an end of our today's session, and I want to give a big thank you for Remi and Susan for supporting our program, supporting our companies, and spending your very valuable Friday afternoon with us here today. And hopefully then for the audience, hopefully you saw something interesting, and please then remember to book those one-to-one meetings with those companies who you want to hear more and continue conversation. And we hope that this is just the first step for many upcoming collaboration projects in near future. With that, thank you again. Have a great weekend ahead. Stay safe, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.